What you're hearing today on the border, first of all, we've heard from Joe Biden now for 2 years that he's done everything he can do.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing else he can do. There's no power he has. Nothing else he can do. All they could do is rescind what President Trump did. Remember, Mayorkas in that early on ABC interview said, we've rescinded so many things from the Trump administration, and we don't have enough time for me to tell you. Well, yes, the border reflects that, too, as 15 million people have probably come into the country. So now, all of a sudden, Biden understands that the debates are getting close, and I guess that maybe the polling is getting, so bad that someone finally in there said, well, we need to put some whipped cream on this pile of you-know-what, even though it's still a pile of you-know-what. And that's what they're trying to do today with his talk on immigration. New border executive orders that, of course, he told us he didn't have the power to do. Putting back in place almost the exact same thing that President Trump was using with a couple different wrinkles. But as Bill Malugin over at Fox, and he knows the border as well as our own Ben Bergquam does, that this is just that, whipped cream on a you-know-what. A big pile of, because it's not changing the dynamics at the border whatsoever. It's not stopping the flights that Biden's flying people all over the country. It's not doing anything to that. It's not doing anything but addressing asylum seekers. It's not dealing with anything else at the border. It's not stopping the flow of humanity that the Border Patrol encounters every day. It's not stopping the flow of drugs across the border every day. It's not stopping any of that. But the media today would make you believe that this has been Joe Biden's priority since he stepped into office to make sure the border was secure. They would make you believe the border is secure. And they would make you believe that what he's doing today really is just because these damn Republicans just can't get along to, go along to get along. They can't get anything done. They can't do anything. And sometimes you just have to get out in front of those bad Republican people and do it yourself.
Yeah, because, what they really need, and you heard this a lot when they were trying to pass that bill, we just need the money. Just give us the money, and we can do God's work with this money. No.
Over at Right Scoop, they have an article on this today about Joe Biden issuing new executive orders for the southern border that are designed to, quote-unquote, shut down the border when encounters exceed an average of 2,500 for 7 days. So what we're doing here is we're just normalizing illegal immigration to the tune of 1 million or 2 on the most basic level, 1 million or 2 a year. We're just saying now, all of a sudden, the new standard is that's fine. If it gets to 6-7 million, well, that's fine. We're just going to normalize it because today is such a day of gravity of what Joe Biden is doing. This is what you're hearing from the media today. So the Biden administration issues a set of new executive actions that would temporarily suspend entry for non-citizens if the southern border sees a certain number of illegal crossers in a 7-day period. These actions will be in effect when the southern border is overwhelmed, and they will make it easier for immigration officers to quickly remove individuals who do not have a legal basis to remain in the U.S., the White House said today in a press release. If the average number of border encounters exceeds 2,500 in a 7-day period, entry to non-citizens would be suspended until 14 days after a 7-day average of 1,500. So again, it just doesn't, we're just going to we're just going to play around with the numbers a little bit. But if we get couple million people every year, that's fine. It bans asylum to some illegal crossers with some exceptions. It does not stop or slow the flow of up to 1,500 migrants per day released into the U.S. via the CBP One app at ports of entry, and does not or slow up to 30,000 migrants a month that Biden is flying directly into the U.S. and being released into the country via his controversial mass parole program for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. Unaccompanied children, minors, are exempt from the order, which will lead to concerns about child trafficking. And migrants can still claim fear in an attempt to avoid deportation. Also, asylum has already been banned for most migrants who cross illegally since the end of Title 42 last year. And that hasn't stopped them from coming. Highest numbers in recorded history in the end of 2023. The order may speed up removals to countries where we can deport easily to, Mexico, Northern Triangle countries, but there has been no explanation as to how the administration will be able to begin mass removals of migrants coming from another hemisphere with governments that do not want to cooperate with the U.S. at all. Between the 2,500 allowed per day, the 1,500 released through the CBB-1 app, and the 30,000 flying into the country on Biden Airlines, we're still taking close to 2 million illegals allowed in the country every year. Biden just wants something he can tout in the campaign trail, and that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So 2 million is now the floor that we're now just going to marginalize and basically normalize and say that's what we have to all accept.
Right. They want that to be the new normal. They want that to be, see, once they do that, then they figure, well, then we can look for 3 million. Because now we established 2 million as, well, this is the absolute, this is doing great work right here. They create the new normal. Meanwhile, the normal was what, like between 500,000 and 1 million of legal, right?
Legal,
Something
yeah,
like
legal.
Right. Legal.
Maybe 1 million.
Right. Tops. But now, well, look at the clever window dressing they put on this pile of garbage.